Hey, what's going on, everyone? This is Eric Stewart from the Bad Rhino local podcast, and today I'm sitting down with a Westchester native, a father of four, and the owner of Your Franchise Biz and Sharkey's Cuts for Kids in Westchester, Brian Enright. How you doing, Brian?
I'm doing awesome, Eric. How are you?
I'm doing great. It is great to have you here. I know we met at a couple different chamber events, the Westchester Chamber and the Exton Chamber, and it's great to sit down and discuss the two businesses that you have here. I'm super familiar with the Sharky's Cuts for Kids in Westchester, but the one business that you've kind of been focusing on here is your franchise biz. And so, can you just fill our listeners in a little bit on what you guys do over there at your franchise biz?
Yeah, sure. Happy to provide some background and on that, what led me to that, and how we're able to help folks. So back in 2019, I guess I kind of saw myself um, wondering what I'd like to do for the rest of my life. I had a solid career. I was heading up the sales and marketing department for a small IT group that catered into the senior living space, and I was in the industry for about 10 years at that time. And it's a great place to be. Support the folks that support mom and dad in your various skilled nursing facilities and assisted living communities. But candidly, I never really developed a passion, and I think that's very important in a space such as that. And I lacked fulfillment. I've always looked up to business owners. I have a couple uncles that are business owners, and the folks I worked with in the senior care space were the owners and operators of these large chains. And I'm like, you know what? I think it's time to march to the beat of my own drum. But I candidly didn't know exactly what I wanted to do. So I recall August of 2019, I linked in with a guy that was a franchise consultant. And at that time, I did not know what a franchise consultant was, franchise broker, coach, you can call us whatever you want, I guess. But basically, a franchise consultant or broker is a liaison between business buyers and business sellers within the franchising space, right? Believe it or not, there's some 4,400 different brands out there in 75, 80 different industries. So it can be overwhelming. Sure, there's a ton of information that you can find online, but it's that high level marketing stuff. And if you link in with a specific brand and you're a good candidate, of course they're going to try to sell you on their brand. But a consultant is more motivated to make an appropriate match between you and a brand that caters to how you want to spend your time, who you want to serve, what is your background, what are you good at, what are you not good at, right? And so yeah, you're that liaison that bridges the gap between often it's your 20, 30 year vet in corporate America that's just looking for a change, right? So yeah, so I went through that process myself. I found Sharky's Cuts for Kids. I think we're going to talk about that in a little bit, but timing was a little interesting with COVID, and obviously we all have our stories with that. So March of 2020, that third week, I found myself in owner's training after I decided to invest in Sharky's Cuts for Kids, which is a franchise. And I was sitting in a hotel across the street from the corporate salon, and it shut down. And so all of a sudden, I had to hit the pause button on opening up the children's hair salon that I was really excited about. But I also really became intrigued just going through what we call the discovery process, and decided I think that's where I want to spend the lion's share of my time. I want to help other folks out, like the franchise consultant that I met, help me throughout the process. So fast forward today, we opened up Sharky's along with another business partner of mine, opened up another brand down in North Carolina. But as you mentioned, I do spend the lion's share of my time, bridging that gap and helping other folks that were, most likely, in my shoes back in 2019, and helping them, you know, uh, open up their own business.
Yeah, so it sounds like you kind of went through that whole process of the discovery phase, trying to find out what your franchise was going to be and what company you kind of wanted to go with. And then now you dedicate your time to helping other business owners or potential business owners find their franchise and what's fits them. And when I was doing some research on your company, I just was checking out, the process of what that looks like for potential business owners that are looking to get into it. And I was reading you look at 700 plus different franchises when you talk to people. So can you just fill us in a little bit of how that process looks like? Someone new starting out, they've been in corporate America for 30 plus years, so they have a little bit of capital to invest. They want to kind of branch out and do it on their own. What does that process kind of look like for them when they submit that first contact form?
Yeah, sure, absolutely. So it can be a pretty extensive process, but just to be succinct and keep it simple, if there's only two things that I'm looking at, it's the why and the how, right? So why are we talking? Why do you want to open up your own business? Do you just think it's a cool idea? That might not be a strong why. Do you want to bring a service to your community that you feel would truly benefit the community? Okay, I think we're maybe onto something. Do you want to leave a legacy to your children? Do you feel that you are a strong leader and can provide, jobs within a certain space? Okay, again, we're probably onto something, but we also have to be financially qualified. We are investing in a business. There is a cost obviously associated with that. And so we do have to dive into the financials. The number one reason most small businesses fail is because they're undercapitalized. So I take my job very seriously, and I want to set up my clients, set them up so they have the best probability, of success. So we certainly want to be conservative as it relates to, okay, what is their budget? What are they able to invest? Okay, are we doing an extensive build out? Is it a business that you can run out of the home or a shared workspace? And yeah, so there's a list of questions, but primarily it circles around those two components, the why and the how.
Gotcha. And then when they're going through the process, is there any like franchises that like have been really good successes for you guys at just getting people set up? Like, is there any like top like franchises that you kind of refer clients to?
Yep, yeah. So that's a common question. Hey, Brian, what's the hot brand? What's the hot franchise? Okay, so I have this to invest. Where am I going to get the biggest bang for my buck? How can I build a multi-million dollar company in 3 months, right? Well, tell you what, as soon as you find that out, please give me a call. Part of the job is managing expectations. The nice thing about franchising is a lot of things are figured out for you. You don't have to reinvent the wheel, but there's still work involved. We're still opening up a business. We still have to let the consumers know that this resource is now available. We have to hire some folks. We have to, a lot of systems are put in place, but things can still be different in one market versus the other. So so yeah, I mean, there's definitely a lot of and actually, I think I kind of went off on a tangent and forgot your original question. Could you state that again?
Absolutely. Yeah.
I have four young children, 6 and under, so sleep is not always a given. So sometimes that happens to me.
It's all good. It's all good. I was just asking basically what the biggest like franchise that you guys kind of refer clients to and like.
Oh, right. Yeah. So I can definitely talk about a few brands that have seen a lot of success, but just because a brand has been successful in, say, Dallas, Texas or Philadelphia, doesn't necessarily mean it's going to see the same revenue in Indianapolis or Lancaster or what have you. So I not to deflect, but it really depends, you know? So we have to look into what you will be successful in doing, and also where, do the demographics support this product or service that you're going to bring to market? So it depends, and that's part of the process.
Absolutely. And then like kind of going from your story too with Sharky's Cuts for Kids, which is coming up here in the next couple questions, but how much does passion um involve with the decision process that you guys make? Because if you have a strong passion for something, I know we were talking about, a little bit before this podcast about different things that we're both involved in and the passions that we have, outside of work. But how much does passion involve in opening up a franchise when people are like truly like invested in it?
Personally, I feel the passion is wildly important. And, it is a little, I have been disappointed in a lot of the folks that I chat with that, and listen, I get it. Money's important. Everybody wants multiple revenue streams, and everyone wants to work as minimally as possible for that. But if you're passionate about what you do, whether it's working for an employer or doing your own thing, then it's less work. It's more, you don't have to do it. You get to do it, right? So, anything that you would like to do. We were talking a little bit about, fishing before the podcast, right? That's something you get to do. You might be passionate about that. If you can make a lot of money catching largemouth bass, is that work, or you just get to do something and you happen to get paid for it? So that is something that I really try to get to, and quite frankly, sometimes I can't, and that usually means that's not the right time for that individual.
Business owners and marketing professionals in the Philly area, Bad Rhino takes the overwhelm out of digital marketing. With tailored digital marketing services, from social media management to SEO and PPC advertising, our expert team navigates the complexities of the digital ad space for your business. Let Bad Rhino lead you to success. Visit badrhinoinc.com and let's take your business to new heights. Bad Rhino, we do digital marketing so you don't have to.
Let's shift gears a little bit. Let's talk about Sharky's Cuts for Kids, because you guys are doing a lot of great things there. I was on your Instagram checking out the different amenities that you guys have there. But let's talk about, because you did a whole 180 shift from working in senior care to kind of working with kids now. So how did that whole shift come to be? Was it from your 4 kids, kind of just, watching them grow up and being like, okay, you know what, I want to work with kids now? Or how did that kind of come to be?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's important, and it's important to have a why. You have to work for something greater than yourself, whether it be seniors, whether it be kids, whatever is important to you. And candidly, I probably would not have opened up Sharky's Cuts for Kids 10 years ago, and I probably would not have done it in 10 years. As I mentioned, I have four young kids, so worst case scenario, I have 4 clients, right? But yeah, our oldest now, he's 6, well, 6.5 if you ask him, and he was part of our inspiration behind opening up this children's hair salon in Westchester. As you might know, there's no shortage of barbershops for you and I to go to, or salons for women to get their hair colored or cut. But there's only so many places, and quite frankly, I don't think anyone does it as well as we do. That offer that environment for children. When my son was about 2, a young 2, it was time for his first haircut, maybe a little bit before 2 actually, and I did what most parents do. I took him to my barber. My barber had 16, 17 years of experience. She happened to be a mother of a child that was about a year older than him, super patient, super kind. He was not having it. You would have thought we're trying to rip his little ears off. It was a very unfortunate experience, and I do not blame the barber at all. It just wasn't the right environment. So I was just talking with a mother yesterday who actually tried to bring her son in the Sharkies, and I think maybe lacked a nap or what have you. And I said, hey, listen, if he's very anti getting his hair cut, just stop in and kind of walk around with no plans of getting your haircut, right? And then come back at another time. But at Sharky's, Sure, we have an awesome environment that the children feel very comfortable. The younger kids can choose from one of four cars. The first one you see when you walk in is my personal favorite. It's a Spider-Man race car, my personal favorite because my son picked it out. There's a police car, there's a fire truck, there's an Elsa Jeep, and unlike most or probably all children's hair salons out there, we do a good job retaining the client past the point of being either too big or too cool for the kid cars. No problem at Sharkey. They simply graduate to either the Xbox stations, where we have three adult-sized chairs. They can sit there and play their video games, or we have what we call a tween lounge. And the girls can sit there and they feel like a princess in front of a big mirror with the lights that go around. And, often call it nine-year-old girls getting her hair cut, and mom is sitting right next to her and maybe getting her hair done. We have no intentions of taking mom away from the stylist that she's been seeing for, 12, 15 years. But, she'll get her hair done while her daughter gets her hair cut, and they have this really nice experience together.
Definitely, and you kind of hit on my next question there, because I saw the video game setup that you guys have
Yeah.
when the kids
Yeah.
are getting their haircut, and I honestly wish that was around when I was a kid, because I'm a big fan of Minecraft and playing a bunch of video games like that.
Yeah,
So you got
sure,
the cars, you got the video games. What else do you kind of have to kind of get the kids kind of off? Hey, maybe they're not getting their haircut; they're just coming to this place to kind of have fun.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, just to kind of hone in on what that experience might look like, all haircuts include a wash, a blow dry, lollipop, balloon, little Sharky tattoo. Don't worry, they're temporary. And then the girls also get a princess ring after they get what we call a manicure, so they get their nails painted. That's all included with with the haircut. Video games. It's funny that you bring that up. I want to say it was the first month we were open. Two brothers come in, a 6-year-old who's really excited to go sit in the fire truck, and his older brother, about 10 years old, walked in there, definitely too cool for school, right? As soon as I mentioned we had an Xbox station, he perked up, and it was hard to get him out of there, you know. But yeah, so we definitely cater to the children's cuts, but we're also Chester County's top spot for princess themed birthday parties. So yeah, we actually have to set up for one tonight, and so basically what that looks like is after we're done cutting hair for the day, we'll close down the salon for a princess themed birthday party. We're conveniently located 8 feet away from America's Pie, one of the best places in Westchester to get your get some pizza, and they're kind enough to cut the slices into smaller pieces for the little hands. But basically the birthday parties go like this. Kids come in, they sit down, they have their pizza, and then the birthday girl is the first to initiate the services. As the guests are waiting, they're building their own little princess crown. Then they get their nails painted, makeup, hair, and then we have a pretty large rack of princess dresses that they can choose to wear for pictures. And so they're getting their individual pictures taken in front of this princess themed birthday party backdrop. Pictures with the birthday girl, and of course you need that big group shot, the perfect big birthday shot, and we print that out and put it in a little frame, and accompany that with a signature pillow so everybody can sign that, so they remember who was at their 6th birthday party or whatever it was. And then right after we get that perfect shot, we dim the lights a little bit, we crank up the kids bop a bit, and then that's when we rip the cord to the balloon drop. Balloons fall from the ceiling, and the girls just go nuts. And then it's a dance party for a handful of songs. When we calm down a little bit, we sing happy birthday, and then usually there's a round 2 of the dance party. But yeah, the kids have a lot of fun, and mom and dad get to go home to a clean house.
Yeah, Brian, that sounds like kind of a whole production, and I'm sure that it kind of requires a lot of workers too. And I read somewhere that you guys might be looking for a couple people to kind of get in there and cut some hair. So why don't you let people know kind of where they can go to get in contact with you if they're looking to, and maybe they just graduated from Westchester, and maybe they're just looking to kind of get their start cutting hair, where they can go to kind of contact you.
Yeah, absolutely. So they're always welcome to pop into the shop. We're located 323 East Gay Street in Westchester. We're happy to accept resumes at Westchester at sharkiescutsforkids.com. We're always looking to meet good people. You know, if you're passionate about providing a nice experience for children, let's certainly talk. Obviously, we do need licensed either barbers or cosmetologists to cut hair, and but we do have folks that frankly, high school and college students that help out with the birthday parties, and they definitely do a good job at adding to the energy level.
Absolutely. Cool, man. And one of the questions I always like asking at the end of these, because we did meet at a Westchester Chamber of Commerce meeting, can you just describe a little bit of what the Westchester Exton business life is and that networking community is all about?
Very supportive. Yeah, it's a great group. I wish I can make it out to more events, and I'm going to use this as a reminder to try to push myself to get out to more of the Westchester and Exton Chamber of Commerce events. But yeah, it's just a great way to integrate with the community, see who's who, and it's very, we're all out here trying to provide some type of service to our community, and we all have our little niches. So it's nice opportunity to meet with other folks that cater to that same demographic. And yeah, I was quickly introduced to folks what's Lulu's Casita and Treehouse World and Bounce You, and yeah, so there's a lot of folks out there that basically have the same mission, but they're just providing a slightly different service.
Absolutely. Like-minded individuals for sure at those
Hmm.
networking
Yeah,
events. It's always a good
yeah,
time.
yeah. Always a good
Cool,
group.
Brian. Let's wrap it up here. Let people know where they can find any more information about your two companies, social medias, websites, and all that, and they'll all be linked in the description too as well.
Yeah, perfect. So the best way to get a hold of me, especially with your franchise biz, would just be on LinkedIn. So if you just want to link that into the show notes, that would be perfect. And again, for Sharky's Cuts for Kids, feel free to shoot an email to Westchester at sharkiescutsforkids.com.
Awesome, Brian. I got it down here. I'll get them in the show notes, and I appreciate having you on. And I hope to see you at more network events down in the future. We can probably catch up there.
Yeah, I'm sure I'll see you soon, Eric. Thanks so much for having me. This was fun.